Trial 2.
Good thing you have Trial 1.
Yep. Good thing I just did Trial 1. That way we wouldn't know where the plot's going. And also, good thing I have Trial 1 installed. Otherwise, the game won't work properly.
Ha 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 ha.
Well, that loaded up pretty fast. Well, here we go again. Maybe I'm making an assumption, but you've heard of, or blah blah blah. Great, that saves time to an explanation of what to expect. Now then, here's the incident. The badge seller was dead in the hallway. We don't have any strong leads. Alright, so anything new here? The knowledge of badge effects from selling so many could have helped us solve more cases.
You mean could have helped us save more cases?
Yeah. Timmy's the ultimate cut content, not much will ever be known about him now.
More so now he's dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's also the Snatcher, who is the ultimate attorney. Unless I'm mistaken, he actually went to law school.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Only a small step away from being an Ace Attorney, because Ace Attorney is also a visual novel franchise about law. He acts as the judge since he set up this whole thing, and really isn't even bothering to hide that. What he is hiding is what the heck is going on outside. Alright, show me the evidence. Minion's account. The Subconite was inside the infirmary well before the murder, though they won't specify why. They had noticed that a sedative bottle was missing. Sedative lasts 20 to 30 minutes, as well as a lot of blood packs. Director's accounts. I clicked too fast. Director's accounts. The tourist, Penguin, and Owl all checked on a disturbance during the murder. The disturbance being a loud argument between you take your best guess. Motive.
I love those two.
Those two are... I'm not surprised everyone ships those two together, honestly, considering how often they act like an old married couple. But even still, I don't really agree with that ship.
You brought it up and you're in bloody cutting the branches of the two characters must hate each other, thus there must be something there.
Yeah, I do remember having Sayori want Cthulhu and Diablo to make out with each other just for the lulz. I do remember doing that. And then I think I remember the next comment was Octavian saying that you'll notice me someday, senpai, because of how that interaction went. Cutting the branches was so effing weird. As we get further into Trigger Hatty Havoc, you'll see exactly how off the rails everything was getting with Trigger Hatty Havoc now, which I just wanted to talk about something else other than Hat in Time all the time.
It's all a fever dream.
At least it's a fun fever dream, I suppose. Motive. Snatcher showed us individualized VHS tapes of loved ones in captivity with the threat to kill them if someone doesn't turn up dead. It's much better and scarier than the stupid first move that did nothing. In fact, the murder happened the day after we got the tapes. So, because, as I said, Trial 2 was the last one I came up with. And by that point, I had decided what was happening on every other trial. This meant that I had to try and figure out some way for either the badge seller to kill Ka or vice versa. And it didn't seem like it made sense for the badge seller to kill anyone, so that means I had to figure out how to make Ka do it. And because I just could not think of anything, it's like, okay, let's look at Danganronpa motives and see what we got. The very first one was Sayaka Mizuno, who was given a video showing all of her bandmates being kidnapped by crazy people. And it's like, okay, I can work with this, considering the Ka agents have like 500 relatives. Let's roll with that one. Alright, so...
This one's a bit like your filler trial, isn't it?
Chapter 2 is definitely filler. You could skip it and I won't blame you one bit. Alright, Snatcher file. Badge said I was killed around 10:53 by stab wound to the neck in the hallway between the infirmary and the bathroom on the first floor. Bo-Kid's account. Bo-Kid browsed for badges at the badge seller before entering the bathroom to search for pawns. She failed. Around 10:50-ish. She hit the stall after hearing a loud gash. The culprit entered and flushed the evidence down the toilet. They took an absurd amount of time to leave. She was still in there well afterwards. Bloody knife, a knife coated in blood. Emphasis on coated. It looks like someone just dipped it in liquid instead of actually killing someone with it. Impromptu investigation. Carl requested help investigating the auditorium when blood was discovered inside around 10:47. The group was composed of Hackett, the Mafia Goof, and the Owl. Carl claims that after he left to find more investigators, they were sedated and taken away to be plated as the murderer. I'm not sure if I even used that word right. They ran off to get the impromptu team, and the four of them discovered the body together at 11:20-ish. Blood-colored jokes aside, there was an awful lot of blood in the first floor auditorium. The girl's bathroom toilet was clogged. Gross. At least the toilet isn't trying to kill you this time.
Just like that was a bit of a filler boss.
That was kind of a filler boss, wasn't it? Still a fun boss to kill anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely fun boss. But isn't it the only chapter with 2 bosses?
Yeah, that is actually. You have the toilet and Snatcher to deal with in Subcon. You have, the Mafia boss in Chapter 1, Conductor or Grooves in the Deadbird chapter, and there isn't really a boss for Alpine, or the Arctic Cruise, or the Metro.
I mean, the Metro and Arctic Cruise, what do you mean there wasn't a boss fight for the Metro?
That was more like a marathon level of platforming challenges rather than actually being in a proper fight with the Empress.
I suppose, but...
Because it's more like you're trying to escape the Metro by running through a bunch of random tunnels to try and get out of there, rather than directly confront her and beat the crap out of her.
Honestly, a toilet probably exists in Subcon to make up for the fact there isn't a boss in Alpine.
Maybe. Alright, lunch prep. Cooking Cat was preparing everyone's lunch. The Nomads saw them in there around 11:30. There was an awful stink in there, which, according to Cooking Cat, was because the Mafia Goof snuck in earlier and they had to swap out and throw away the bad food fast. A graffiti icon that's unmistakably Mustache Girls was found on the wall of the gift shop. It was definitely not there yesterday. There are several items on sale at the gift shop, but all through the capsule vending machine. It ranges from knives and tarps to dolls and spray paint. Everyone gets 3 free tokens for the vending machine. I feel like I remember there being some sort of accidental plot hole inconsistency, but I don't remember what it was. Whatever, it's not that huge of a deal for this filler episode anyway. What?
I could not tell you if there was one.
Alright, this time the picture in the background is Crypt of the Necrodancer with the picture of Junko and Monokuma there, because that is an actual official thing that wound up happening.
Wait, really?
Yes. So, some of the characters got new skins for Crypt of the Necrodancer that you're able to toggle into using the menus. You don't have to install mods for them, it's already in there. So yeah, characters like Junko, Monokuma, Ibuki, Sayaka, Makoto, and then a few others are all in there as free skins.
Fair enough, then. So they effectively just had, like, a collaboration with Danganronpa a bit.
Yeah. Alright, so if you'll excuse me, I need to use the restroom. I will be back in, like, a minute or 2.
That's fine, take your time.
Alright, and I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
Alright. I think you already know the ropes, kiddo. Solve the case or get axed. Unless you did, in which case, don't do that. Alright, let's get this started. So, is everyone going to start this off by screaming like idiots again? Because I'd rather not do that again. Obviously not. We gotta start off with alibis. It's more efficient than going one at a time right off the bat. Sheesh, she cranky or what? So as of now, Call is the most likely suspect. I'd never do that. Calm down, darling, we're not accusing you of murder yet, we just started. We won't want a repeat of last time, right? Sorry, being violently abducted and framed has made an impact on me. I apologize for my jumpy behavior. We'd better get started. Whose alibi is first? Looks like everyone's starting to actually work together a little. Better enjoy it while it lasts. I still hate those annoying yellow dots. Why do they have to be there?
Which annoying little yellow dots?
The ones that people keep tagging in there. I don't know how that happens. I think it just does.
Oh, you mean from people leaving, like,
The stickers.
emoticons everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. So we need to find out who was where and when the badge seller died. Mafia investigating auditorium with Owl and Little Hat Girl. I keep forgetting his voice is actually a lot higher. There were a lot of people crowding around the second floor cafe. There was me, and a bunch of birds, all of them except the car agent. I can vouch for both of those. You were at both places at once. Perhaps our fellow Express Owl was investigating the disturbance? They were so loud that I was worried something happened, so I went to see what happened. In retrospect, splitting from the group while a murderer was on the loose was not my smartest move. I don't think that'd be enough time to clean up the blood from his clothes if he were the culprit. So we can all agree that there's nothing wrong with anyone's testimony so far, right? What will you add to this? Nothing wrong with anyone's testimony.
Yeah, nothing's wrong. All is good.
Looks like we can all agree that it can't be the Mafia, Hat Kid, DJ Grooves, the conductor, the owl, the penguin, or the tourist, right? That still leaves us with about 6 people. I was in the gift shop trying to get new spray paint, but I don't know where to find Snatcher tokens. Also, who designed the gift shop to have every item sold through a capsule vending machine thing? Why can't I just buy the thing I want? The better question is why my own machine in my spaceship's living room does the same thing. Why does it operate like that?
Because gacha mechanics. Everything in the world must run off gacha mechanics because then you have to spend more money for the simplest of things, so the big corporations can make even more profit. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, if only Hat could actually got her own money back. Because it's her machine in her own room. Why? No. That's quite a Genshin impact on her life, isn't it?
Because space technology and the coins are getting teleported to whoever owns the machine.
Genshin Impact is a gacha, isn't it? Or does that joke not work?
No, yes it is.
Okay. I thought for a second that my joke failed because of Genshin not being a gacha. Oh well. Alright, anyways. It's my property, why can't I just open it to get my clothes and music out of it? I was in the kitchen, same as usual. Though, I should probably ask, did anyone steal a knife from the kitchen again? That sounds like the murder weapon. Hold that thought, we still have alibis to go over. If we sidetrack all over the place instead of focusing, we could miss important details. That's a pretty good point. I was in the library on the second floor reading a book I was recommended. I was kidnapped, sedated, and stuffed in an unfamiliar room. I was stuffed in a bathroom closet coated in blood. But I never have run off to tell everyone a murder happened if it was me. I'd have tried to clean up the evidence that incriminates me. He has a point. But you could have faked being the victim to throw us off and think you're innocent. Something I like to point out is that you actually called out Ka as using an emotionally manipulative ploy right at the start, before it was even explained.
I was kidnapped, sedated, and stuffed in an unfamiliar room. I was stuffed in the bathroom closet, coated in blood. But I'd never have run off to tell everyone a murder happened if it was me. I'd have tried to clean up the evidence that incriminates me. He has a point. Unless he's trying to counteract that point. But you could have faked being the victim to throw us off and think you're innocent. Precisely.
So, You did. What? When Hatkid said he has a point, unless he's trying to counteract that point. So, yeah. You can rewatch the video yourself, but I know that you brought this up and were right on the money that, yeah, it was caught.
As I said, so smart I work it out that I don't even remember anything about it.
Alright, so, Ka replying, but that's such a stupid risk. I don't even have arms to hold the knife to actually stab anyone. Not having arms sounds pretty difficult. How does he write his name? With a pen in his beak? The murder weapon seems to be the knife from the kitchen. You don't have a very good alibi either, since you were in the bathroom right next to the crime scene. You're just glad it isn't Trial 3 right now, otherwise there'd be 2 dead bodies, because Trial 3 is always the double. And you'd probably be dead. The bathroom? Did you see those stuff caught in the closet? The door was open, but you didn't get a good view. I guess you would have told us who it was by now if you could have, unless of course it was you. But we're not there yet. Hey, Subkanite, you're up. Oh, I was, in the library with me. What's wrong with telling them that? Why would someone be hesitant to prove their innocence? Statue doesn't want him having fun. He looks very displeased. That's a little worrisome. Moving on, that's everyone, right? If so, what was the weapon used? The weapon used. The badge seller was killed from... Alright, let's see what we get from wrong answers. That's not what the file says, though.
Whoops.
Did you even read the file? Whoops.
He's very on edge.
I mean, poisoned is so far off from the correct answer that it is pretty valid for him to yell, did you even read the file? Like, blunt object smack versus neck stab wound, those are similar enough. Poison versus neck stab wound. It's like, what did you even read the file? That's right, stab wound to the neck, which means the weapon could be the knife or some other sharp object. I couldn't find anything else coated in blood but the knife. But was that really it? An alternate possibility is that the knife was merely used to frame me, but wasn't the real weapon. There's no way we can determine the weapon without an autopsy report detailing the fatal wound with specific measurements. Would you be able to do that? How am I supposed to do that when the body's always exploding to pink blood upon death? Then we investigate the knife. Something else I like to point out about the backgrounds is that the first 2 backgrounds for Trials 1 and 2 used the Deadbird Boss Arena assets for the most part, with a few things added. I don't remember which one is which, though. I don't remember whether the blue one from Trial 1 is Gruiser Conductor, and which one the red one belongs to. But I definitely know that, for the most part, this is the Deadbird Arena.
I mean, it makes sense for red to be Conductor and blue to be Grooves, given their color schemes.
Yeah. I think the blue one is Grooves and this one is Conductor, but I don't know. So we need to figure out if the knife was used to kill them. Whether or not it was is difficult to discern. Between the 2 possibilities, I believe it is the murder weapon. It would be weird if they didn't use it. It's not like we can identify the killer from a random knife. I think the evidence is faked. Snatcher faked evidence last time just to be a jerk. He'd do it again. Constantly accusing me is starting to get irritating. Was there anything special about the knife? I couldn't get a good look at it. The knife looked pretty weird to me. Whether or not the knife was really the weapon could change everything. Okay, I don't remember if there's anything interesting. Let me just see if there's any interesting wrong answers in the statements.
That's fine, I'm pretty sure I did the exact same thing.
There's definitely one wrong answer thing that you didn't see that would have been hilarious if you did see. We'll get there when we get there, though. Alright.
Ladies and gentlemen!
Because there was no proper voice acting, I had to use whatever clips were on hand. That's what I wound up using. Also, something interesting about this and the previous trial. As I said before about the first trial using that dead bird winner variable to determine which one was on the right, I used the same variable here to see which of the directors would agree with you and help you out. However, because we are currently using an undecided as the dead bird winner, it just picks somebody.
And because of that, we don't have the UI.
Oh, maybe. Oh, no, that must have been an error. Either way, so yeah. In this trial, which of the two directors helps you out varies on the variable, but if it doesn't have either, it just picks one randomly. And I think trial 3 also has to pick one of them randomly for something. But, you'll see when we get there, actually. Even if I didn't help you make movies, it still look pretty fake. Clearly our culprit lacks aesthetic. So we can agree that the knife wasn't the weapon because of the coated layer. But is that all there is to it? Wouldn't the culprit try doing a better job at hiding the crime? Mafia have to agree with scary little red hood girl. Knife is strange. Perhaps it was coated so obviously to look fake, but really was the weapon. This lack of hard evidence is perplexing. There must be something. Okay, this was definitely a case of the random variable.
What's up?
That knife is suspicious. How and why was it coated? Could it have come from the body? Maybe the knife wasn't coated in blood? Maybe it was coated in something else. Perhaps they got the blood from themselves? Actually, that probably killed them, never mind. There was also blood in the auditorium far away from the crime scene. Where did it all come from? That's way too much blood for just a single body. But there isn't just blood lying around, is there? Where did it come from? Someone has to know. There's 13 of us here. Someone definitely knows what should we do. Alright, and that's the first time that the minion gets to be playable. I know where the blood came from. You do? That's great to hear. Where did the blood come from? The infirmary is missing several blood packs. That means that the blood could have easily been used as a diversion in the auditorium and coated the knife. In fact, there's something I want to check related to the investigation in the auditorium. Something inconsistent with other evidence. Let's see. Crap, what was it? I think it was when it happened.
Yes, you gotta love it when the mod creator can't even remember the answers to his own questions.
I think it was when it happened. Keep in mind, this has been years. When did I make this mod again?
A while ago.
Yeah, I'll check later. I'm pretty sure it was at least 5 years.
Something like that.
What weapon was in there? We don't know what that is yet. Great job, you managed to make yourself look worse. Where was the body discovery announcement activated at? The hallway. Duh. Where are you getting at with this? When did you all start searching the auditorium? If you remember correctly, it was around 10:40 to 10:50-ish. Awesome. Now when did they die? Snatcher file says, are you sure it was 10:40 to 10:50? Yeah, that's right. Wait. The murder happened after we found the blood in the auditorium. What? So auditorium has nothing to do with murder? It might have been used as a distraction to divert attention away from the victim. Why else would the blood packs be missing? An inquiry. Were there sedatives in the infirmary as well? If so, then that could explain why I was knocked out cold. Interesting you mention that, because there was a bottle of sedatives missing from the medicine cabinets. This definitely explains a lot, but it doesn't narrow down our 4 remaining choices. We still have the angry little girl again, Cooking Cat, the Crow Agent Watch, and the little girl with the bow. Of the 4 options, Bow Kid and Caw stand out as most likely candidates. but also could have been Mustache Girl or Cooking Cat who drugged Ka, stuffed him in the bathroom closet, and framed him. Actually, that doesn't really sound like something either of them would do. Cooking Cat was trying to prevent casualties, and Mustache Girl isn't subtle. But the point is to not get caught, and the intent of the person is difficult to be sure of. Little kid didn't do it, right? Darlings, I think we can all agree that both Ka and the little girl next to him are the most suspicious. That doesn't mean you two are off the hook yet. Noted. So the murder was next to the bathroom, and the evidence was supposedly flushed down the toilet, right? Did anyone unclog it to see what the evidence was? Yes. Thank goodness, a lead! What was in there?
I love that, yes.
Say again?
I love that, yes. That very disappointed, yes.
A sedative bottle was lodged inside and caused the clog. If anything else was flushed like clothes, it'd have been torn to pieces. Maybe something a bit more conclusive? I'm afraid not. You're more quiet than usual now. Toilets are gross! Next topic! So, was the bottle opened? Yeah, it was, which means Ka's story still holds up. Well, kinda. It's just a lot more likely he's telling the truth now. I'm sorry. I just find it funny how I made them react next topic just because they hate toilets so much because of that stupid subcon toilet.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Hat Kid just did the exact same thing too, so...
Alright, anyways. It's not conclusive though, so I don't know, it could or couldn't be him. Alright, little girl, you're the next best suspect, and you're gonna have to tell us everything. You try to tell everyone what you've already told them earlier. So, you went up to see the badge seller, and he died right after you visited them, and your excuse is that you went to the bathroom to find pawns. Old habits die hard, but hey, you found a snatch token in there, so that's a plus. Unfortunately, you look very guilty right now.
I see it in your eyes. You're a lass up to no good in my book. If you ain't, you're good to prove it.
So, I feel like I should specify, since I do have the Deadbird variable in play, no, it does not affect which one of the directors is at your throat here. It will always be Conductor.
Conductor's that type of person.
Yeah. You could have easily committed the murder, lassie. That is a weak alibi, and I'd like to hear your counter this. You could have killed him right there and fled to the bathroom until everything blew over. Your excuse for searching for pawns is completely invalid, because there are no pawns anywhere in the building. You can't blame me for getting my hopes up. I was just hoping that maybe I could find some anyway. You could have stuffed Ka into the closet in the bathroom after your job was done. Then you flushed away your evidence. You waited until he woke, covered in blood, fearing for life, and fled to finally escape. Trigger finger, aka next option. Afterwards, all you had to do was wash off in the shower. Or rather, since you very well could be lying about all this, you ran off well beforehand. If your testimony is lies, we can assume you didn't even hide in there for that long. Got through the argument too fast. If you want me to believe that crap, you're gonna have to prove it. Poop. That doesn't counter his argument. If I remember correctly, that was the clogged toilet option, so that was two different poop jokes. Snatcher file. That file proves nothing. Don't bother trying to feed me that garbage, because I'm not falling for it. Dang it. The time of death won't help my argument. That... Wait. Whoops. Sorry. Broken's account. Stop quacking at me and admit you did it! Is that a new bird swear?
Stop quacking.
You have to admit that was a little funny.
What, the choo-choo then, or the quacking?
The quack. Stop quacking at me and admit you did it. Is that a new swear word for birds?
It's a bird sound, so it makes sense.
You can tell I have fun.
And that's the main thing.
Alright, so. Hat Kid. Yeah, you found her inside of the bathroom, not covered in blood or anything well afterwards. The culprit wouldn't do that. But this brings up a different question. We're assuming the culprit shoved Ka in the girls' bathroom or the boys' bathroom. I was inside of the boys' bathroom, I think. I'm not certain. I was too panicked to look. Based on what you know, he'd have to have been stuffed in the boys' room, otherwise he'd have fled while you were waiting in there. Then it appears I was in the boys' room. I do not believe our fellow detective here is the culprit. It is quite possible that both of our statements are true. I hope that is the case. I'm still not convinced. Don't you have a murder weapon of your own, lassie? He's not wrong about that, but he is wrong about something. Alright. Now, I think this should work. I'll be pissed if it doesn't.
What, is this another thing that relies on the dead bird thing?
No. It's because Trial 2 had dependencies on Trial 1, and the game had a habit of not registering this part properly, the Hangman's Gambit part, because it relied on a script that was exclusive to Trial 1 until I copied things over correctly.
Fair enough.
So because of that, you kind of need Trial 1 installed in order for Trial 2's Hangman's Gambit section to work and for the game to not crash after Chapter 2 is over. Which is my bad. Sorry. Either way, the umbrella's tip is too blunt to be the murder weapon. Yeah, that umbrella's tip isn't sharp enough to stab someone. You could kill someone, yeah, but not by impalement or stabbing. I think the file would have said blunt instead if that were the case. Probably still impale someone with it if you struck fast enough. In the neck, though? Okay, that might be pretty hard with a small target. Unless they were sneak attacks. Probably for the best not to bring up how your umbrella seems to materialize and dematerialize over and over again just to avoid another time-wasting argument. It's always fun using the game logic for this crap.
Honestly, it's one of the best things because that means you're using the world itself to make better points and arguments and everything.
Yeah, but sometimes it does lead to confusion because I remember someone was playing through this Chapter 3 and they didn't realize what I meant by the key being a possible murder weapon, because keys in Hat Time replace your umbrella when you pick them up as a weapon because they're so giant. So sometimes when you rely on the game logic, some people just don't get it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a
bad point, though.
So it's a bit of a... I guess it's a bit of a give or take in that regard. Or whatever phrase I'm trying to think of.
Right. It depends on how long it's been for them.
Yeah.
Since they played the proper game.
Fair enough. Anything else about her before we move on? Not that I can think of. The knife comes from kitchen, yes? Perhaps can't use it? You seriously doubt this is gonna go anywhere?
I must have pointed out at some point how much Core Agent is trying to just deflect things.
I don't remember if that came up, actually. Oh, right, whoops. I was in the kitchen almost all day. Mafia in kitchen before crime and Tiny Kitten not there. Mafia was there when Mafia made breakfast. I didn't see them when the directors were fighting. They could have been off committing the murder and lied that they were in the kitchen. Why'd I lie about something like this? Even the nicest person can hide a dark side, darling. Would they really do it? I know the knife is from the kitchen and all, but still. We have to determine all possibilities to apprehend the criminal. Let's check our evidence again to see if we can clear this up. Mafia made breakfast. Now the Nomad gets his turn.
Yep.
I don't think cooking cat is our culprit. They were in the kitchen preparing our lunches and dealing with... breakfast. Breakfast? Did they burn and have to make another or something? Why don't we let a member of the Mafia of Cooks explain? Oh god, don't tell me that rented stink was your doing. Mafia mildly offended by that comment. Mafia is great cook. Tiny Kitten swap out food again. Do you really need to ask that question? We wouldn't eat it otherwise! She's not wrong, but she's being harsh. While I'm thinking about it, that leaves you. Here we go again. I was in the gift shop dealing with that capsule machine thing. I think we can back her up here. What proof she was there? Her graffiti is the correct answer, but the fun one is the stolen pawns answer.
Okay.
What? When did I do that? Are you calling me a thief? That is the biggest insult I've ever been given. Comparing me to brutes, thugs, and crooks. Criminals are all the same and will never escape justice. Note to self, never let Mustache Girl hang out with Carmelita. Ever.
And then guess exactly what happened.
This is the first time I made the joke and no one saw it. No one saw it. It's like, I kinda hope they would have picked this, but also at the same time I can see why. Alright, so, note to self, never let Mustache Girl have a shock pistol, go to Paris and meet Carmelita. Ever. Everyone would die, or go to jail. Also, you didn't notice until after the fight that you still had exactly as many pawns as before. Creator's note, Chapter 1, Act 4 of actual patent time being finished, first time or otherwise, doesn't actually cut your pawn total in half. See, after you deal with the Mafia boss fights, the game has you and Mustache Girl ending up on bad terms. It says that Mustache Girl's pickpocketed half your pawns. Your pawn count doesn't actually change afterwards.
Huh.
So basically, the game is flat out lying to you, and now I have Mustache Girl here basically defending herself from the game lying on her behalf. Regardless, the pawns aren't important right now. I think we can back her up. Her voice. Was I screaming at the machine that loud that you heard me from across the building? I mean, that does sound like something she'd do.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone else noticed that. Looks like there's proof that I was in the gift shop and someone to back me up on that. But it just proves you were there. It doesn't mean you were there when the murder happened. Is that all you got out of that machine? The gift shop is full of supplies that are good for getting away with murder. Yeah, but it's completely random chance. Weren't you complaining about that a few minutes ago? Did it take a few tries before you got what you wanted? I know exactly where this will go, but denying it will just make everything worse. Yes, I got more than just spray paint. However, both the tarp and the mallet I got are still in the wrapping in my room, and I showed it to someone else when I heard about the murder, just so you won't accuse me again. Okay, but that doesn't mean you didn't get more items than that. Actually, yes it does. Here's why. The warranty. What the heck does the warranty have to do with this in the slightest? The warranty is if the machine breaks and I need it replaced. Daily use limit. Oh, come on, the crank isn't that advanced. Limited tokens. Everyone gets 3 tokens, and I showed proof that I used all of mine. Any counter arguments? You just said you found a coin in the bathroom. Why is that? Are you kidding me? I didn't even think about that. She seems very annoyed that her already not very good alibi is further put into question. Then again, she was heavily accused last trial. Who knows, maybe you can figure out whose coin it. You just noticed you're short a token. Alright, everyone check your pockets, and show us your coins. Will that even matter? 3 people who might have dropped their snatcher coins are dead. This is such a pain. Now I look guilty again. Ugh. Well, now we're no further than we were post-alibis. Isn't there any conclusive evidence here? I think I know who did it, but... Oh shoot, this is bad. None of the evidence we collected helped us conclusively figure out who did it. Is there no evidence we can use to figure this out? What do we do? Heck, we're screwed if this keeps up. Time is running out. It must have been Bo Kid. Her alibi is clearly the worst and conflicts most with the testimony. But Kaw's testimony isn't good either. They could have faked it the whole time. You've been saying that ever since we started. What are you hiding, little girl? Nothing! I'm saying that! I bet you're the one who killed the badge seller and framed Kaw from the start. I wasn't even... You did it. I know you did it. Mafia not know what to think right now. Mafia has a gut feeling that scary red hooded girl is not culprit, but Mafia not sure if Mafia should trust gut feeling. Gut feeling has been wrong before. Is nobody going to accuse me? Well, I'm not, but I don't know, it just seems weird that I'm the only one nobody's accusing. I also like to point out that the bottom text was a conversation between the Nomad and the Minion. about them about to team up for what's about to happen. Oh, no, you didn't. But I didn't. Why did you do it? Answer me. You know for a fact you didn't. You killed them, didn't you? I would never do that. This just keeps going and going. Almost everyone is screaming now. Wait. Why are they staying silent while everyone is stuck in a scream fest? What are they waiting for? And I had to put this in because of the problem that you came upon, as well as a lot of other people. You know how, when you got to this debate, you could not figure out the answer for the life of you?
Quite probable.
This next part trips up people a lot because of one reason. Hopefully this isn't patronizing, but hit more options if there's more than 3 weak spots, and the first 3 don't work towards getting past this part.
Yeah, probably,
That part tripped you up and you got really, really mad. You know you didn't do it. Chop Peckneck, it could easily have been you. Darling, you don't have a leg to stand on. You had access to murder weapons. And even if you didn't use one from the gift shop, you could have used the knife. Ain't that right, kid? You did it. Confess already. Sod off. I'm telling you it wasn't me. I never even went to the kitchen to get the knife. And there are way sketchier people here with worse alibis. This repeated accusation is getting vexing. I was kidnapped for Peck's sake, and yet you still accuse me? Mafia not know anymore. Mafia not sure if it's Little Girl, Shady Bird, or Tiny Kitchen. Oh yeah, nobody really accused cooking at all that much, did they? Yeah, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Everyone calm down, please. If we don't stay calm and think about this rationally, then we'll all die. We can't die yet because I want to go home. I want to see my friends and family again. Now's your chance. Hurry. So, I was trying not to be subtle about the fact that you have to agree with the Nomad. Like, Nomad was practically screaming, and right before the debates, it's like, these two are being silent. What are they plotting? So, more options. See my friends and family again is the correct answer. Now, unfortunately, because of the way this one was set up, it's special in that if you get a wrong answer, they're all screaming again, so you have to keep going through it every time you guess wrong. This is the only debate that acts like this.
Yeah, it's because of the screaming. Have the screaming.
Because of the fact that this was the one that did that, even if it's the only one, in combination with the fact that no one hit more options to guess the correct answer, it resulted in everyone just getting really, really frustrated.
Yeah.
I feel like there was an interesting answer in here, but I don't remember what it was. Yep, there it is. No, I can't call him out on it yet. I can't bust him for lying about sleeping in a non-dorm until he's off guard enough that he'll be caught like a deer in headlights. He'll be too shocked and scared that he can't call more lies on the spot to save his tail. I gotta wait. What are you doing? You're ruining your own setup. Crap. What was I thinking? What are you doing? You're ruining your own setup.
A line and a half.
Alright, the answer is motive. If we can't do this, then our loved ones will. Mafia can't steal the Mafia again if Mafia is dead. But my neighbors in town, would they even miss me after what I did?
I always felt very bad about the way Mustache looks there.
Yeah. That was actually taken from one of these Purple Time Rift storybook pictures. I just traced over it. Actually, while I'm thinking about it. Oh, you don't know about that? I'll send you a picture later then.
I can believe it. It's just I don't remember any of the time rifts or anything that happened in them, so...
I think it came packaged with Death Wish. It was definitely one of the later ones. Alright, so, something interesting about all the character sprites that you're seeing. So, people keep saying that the sprite work here with all these images is impressive. I don't agree. All of these were made as trace jobs using the in-game assets, print screening it, and then tracing over it in something like Inkscape, which is a vector graphics program, where you're able to just put lines onto the thing and adjust where those lines are. As such, I don't really find any of the art that I make for these things all that impressive, because really, it doesn't take me that long to make it, and it really doesn't take that much effort. It's not that hard.
You say it's not very hard. Then you've got me who has the drawing skills of a 2-year-old even when they're tracing. So, I'd like to refute your claim that it's not impressive. It might not seem impressive to you, but that's because of a different scale of things. To us, which have the scale of anything we do, anything we try to art will immediately turn to ash, we think it's very good.
Well, I personally don't find my own art all that impressive with the context that I have, because I do genuinely feel like you could probably do just as well with Inkscape, based on what I just said. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. Either way, everyone's despair portraits. This is the first trial where I made everyone's despair portraits. They were definitely interesting to make. Like, here we have Hat Kid with those eye bags and the irises. We had the Nomad with their sweating. This. The others notice I'm gone. Did they notice yet? The others would hate it if both me and Boss died. How did it come to this? Darlings, if I don't make it, please know your support means the world to me. Please, may my grandkids be safe. I'll see them again. Soon. What did I just hear? Does that look like the face of despair? Not really. They seem hopeful. Wait, is that why you wanted me to give you this setup? Because the one who gets to live sees their family again? Leave the rest to me. I'm about to crush that hope to dust by catching them red-handed. Caught like a deer in headlights like that. If they didn't do it, they won't stumble and immediately deny it. If I use this, I can catch them off guard. That's not what I need to use. You're confronting who you think the murderer that cornered you is about this. What is it, fellow detective? You ask if Call was punished for anything recently. What are you talking about? Looks like someone else knows too. Huh, well isn't that something? Okay, so the awkward thing is that even though we've been switching characters over and over this chapter, this is supposed to be Bo-Kid's focus chapter.
Fair enough.
And I don't feel like I did that super great, but what can you do? We needed to introduce who all of the main player characters are, because we've only gotten through half the first time, and the other half this time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. Isn't it weird how you got drugged and slept in a closet? Closets don't count as dorms. That's a violation. Being punished for a rule violation from the Snatcher? You'd have a hard time forgetting that. So what was a creep like you doing in the girl's bathroom? Would you have murdered a little girl in cold blood to get away with your sick crime? That sounds disgusting already. Why the girl's bathroom? The Shirk will pay for this. How did it feel to slice his neck? Won't your loved ones be disgusted once they find out you did this? I didn't do it, I swear. I'd never do that. It's simple. You murdered someone and tampered with the evidence. You did a good job too. Too bad you forgot the rules. Shut up! Shut up already! That was pretty creepy. Thanks, I tried my best. He can deny it all he wants, but he just digged the grave deeper. That wasn't a compliment, though. That's not true. It couldn't be me. I was in the boys' room, remember? Also, I don't have hands. How could I have stabbed anything with enough precision for a fatal wound like that? Now that I know who it was, I might be able to answer those questions. Hate to interrupt the pace, but here's something I should mention about the upcoming Logic and Dive segment. Alright, yeah. Okay. Alright, so.
Epistles thing of heck. Now is where people put all the things. There's several little icons everywhere.
Alright, this is the only Logic Dive segment in the entire Trigger Hatty Havoc saga. I never used it again, and you can probably see why. It's not all that great. Oh, wait a minute. I know what I could... Oh, wait.
What?
This is the co-partner hat I talked about, now that we're actually in a place where we can see it.
Fair enough, then.
Alright, time to use mods to get through this faster. Why did they go to the girls' room? Gender ratio, closer to the crime, they're a creep. What was the real murder weapon?
Gotcha!
I still love seeing all the little icons go around during in that segment. That's kind of cool.
I personally don't like when there's all those annoying little blips, but that's just me. I just find them distracting. But that's the only thing that makes sense. We went to the girls' bathroom because there are almost no girls here by comparison to the boys. Making it a better spot to hide in just in case someone came along and found the body. And the weapon wasn't the knife. He coated it in blood to prevent us from knowing it really wasn't the murder weapon and drag us out longer. Instead brought a whole new meaning to the term peck neck. That beak is sharp, perfect for a killing blow. Honestly, he probably would have gotten away with it if the subcontinent didn't say anything. And I still need to explain how he wasn't punished for violating a rule. My beak? The boy-to-girl ratio? I wasn't punished because... So you didn't go in the girls' bathroom because you're a sick creep. You did it because it's better hiding spot since there's almost no girls here. That makes sense, I suppose, but that's still gross. And all we know is that the badge seller was stabbed in the neck, but it doesn't say... But it didn't say what. The detective's beak being the weapon still fits. Is everyone ready to vote yet? Time's almost up. I think we are. Told you it was him from the start. We know. No, that's not right. It wasn't me. I never knew that. I don't know why I wasn't punished. I just wasn't. You gotta believe me. Please. I...
Leave this case to us.
I didn't do it. Screaming at me like isn't doing you any favors. It was you. You killed them. I'll prove it was you. You're the killer. Everything you said is a lie. You've used the knife and pinned this on me. I can't even hold the stupid thing. You're grasping at straws here. Which one of these moves the plot forward?
What a line.
What? You got another rule I broke to shove down my throat? Well, that didn't go well. You really expect to prove me guilty over a pecking toilet? It's very tempting, and it is the correct answer. You're banging it on me because you're stuck in a corner. Maybe you say something to prove you didn't do it? I shouldn't have to prove anything. I didn't do it. You stabbed the badge seller. You drugged me and threw me in a closet. You flushed the bottle and blood bags. You did it. I refuse to listen to you any longer. Your lack of proof doesn't help you at all. You brought this on yourself. You have no proof. Do you even have any proof? You're framing me. I got through the argument too fast. And moving forward, it's the third one. Stabbed the badge seller, drugged me and threw me in a closet. Where did the blood bags go?
Yeah, took the blood bags and nothing mentioned.
Why do you know where the blood bag rap went when that never came up? Just end it already. Don't even bother wasting time on the closing argument. Just let it end already. What? We can have a trial without a closing argument? It's Danganronpa tradition. But Danganronpa 1 Trial 5 had no closing argument. And Danganronpa 2 Trial 6. Only B3 had closing arguments every case. Also, how many of those Danganronpa conventions have we broken already? Nobody super important died in Trial 1. Sorry, Timmy Mafia Boss, but neither of you are that important. This trial had the first suspect actually do it, which pretty much never happens. The gender ratio heavily favors men instead of being a 50-50 split. None of us are teenagers. Debates don't let me shoot truth bullets at words. Neither of us protagonist characters are dudes with the personality of an inanimate object. Okay, I get it.
I remember laughing very hard at that one.
Of us protagonist characters are dudes with the personality of an inanimate object.
Yep. Let's be honest, Danganronpa protagonists are very, very boring.
I would say it's because you're meant to be able to, like, imprint yourself on the character, but given the fact this is a visual novel, you shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. But also, those kinds of characters don't appeal to me. They're boring. I don't like them. I know other people like them, but I don't.
Fair.
Okay, I get it. We don't follow every Danganronpa trope in existence to a T. I'm just saying it feels a bit off and it's kind of disappointing. The votes are in. Ka has been caught as the Blackened. Looks like I get to savor these moments as the judge, jury, and executioner. What? Why? I was so close. Now After that, he slowly slumped to the ground in the fetal position. At least I think it's the fetal position. He doesn't have arms, so it's kinda hard to tell. Yay! More misery! Holy crap. Maybe I went too far. You did just kind of crush his hopes pretty quickly and thoroughly there. I guess he can't put up a great defense if his guard is down. I'm writing this down for later for some totally not mafia-destroying plans. Why? Please no. Dear God, he's completely broken now. I can't help but feel awful for him, even though he just brutally murdered innocent merchants. But the motive... There are a lot of detectives in the car. Is that why you did it? They're safe, right? Snatcher got his murder, so now he can't kill them, right? I think with the context we have, I don't think Snatcher was going to kill them regardless of how this turned out.
Yeah, given the context that we know, but not so much in the actual case itself.
Yeah. I'm a man of my word, I can't do anything to them. Indeed can't. I guess my actions aren't in vain then. Unfortunately, man, yes they are. Why didn't you just say something if you wanted to make a heroic sacrifice? You almost killed us all! I wanted to live. I wanted to see the other agents again. You would have done it too!
And no one can deny that.
Except for, like, one person. You all thought about it too, didn't you? You can't just let them die, can you? Why isn't anyone saying anything? You all weren't really considering it, were you? Like, the Nomad, the way that they are written is, like, a lawful good character surrounded by chaotic neutral and chaotic evil characters.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I think the only one who legitimately wouldn't actually consider doing it is probably the Nomad, and just the Nomad. Was almost everyone here planning murder? Actually, you know something funny I thought to myself?
What's that?
I thought to myself, it's interesting how the fan favorite of this wound up being the Nomad, even though they have even though it's basically a running gag that they have no personality and they're boring as all crap. And then I thought to myself, oh wait, Samantha from Until Dawn has the exact same problem. Everyone loves her because she's the only one that's not annoying. It's a bit of a similar situation. Not exactly the same, but it's still funny to think about. Was almost everyone here planning murder? Gotta say, I wasn't expecting you all to have that much empathy in you since so many of us had tried to kill each other already. Particularly that little girl. Or somehow even more convinced than before that he's trying his hardest to get someone to kill you. Well, execution's waiting. Any last words? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Close enough. On to the execution! I remember you were disappointed in the fact that this happened.
Yeah.
But please try to understand, my animation skills were flat out bad. The first animation you saw earlier, it made me cringe so bad. It was just not good.
I enjoyed it. It was literally a frame-by-frame sort of encounter thing. I think it looked good.
I think it looked absolutely god-awful, honestly. And I didn't want to do that again a second time. I'd rather have waited until my skills had gotten better, and I just never went back. I pretty much moved on by that point. Ka just died. His body still wriggling a little was disturbing, since death doesn't happen until they blow up. Probably suffered for a while there. He's a hero and a villain. He killed someone for the sake of many others we all care for, but he's also tried killing us all. It's not a clear-cut battle of right and wrong when all of us are inherently selfish jerks. And more angst, let's move on.
More angst.
I mean, am I wrong?
I mean, a tiny bit, but...
Alright, so... And pretty much all the characters here are also angsting. Not giving me space. Oops. We got way too close. Almost ended very badly for us. I'm just glad we're alive. But I have a bad feeling about Boss. Difficult to tell whose side this guy is on. So I do think that for as little screen time as I was able to have with each of these characters for this thing, I do think that I did decent enough with the minimal mileage I had. Like,
yeah, I agree.
like setting up the Minion and Nomad as friends and Cooking Cat and Mustache Girl as bonding. Though I didn't have a whole lot of time to pull that off, but for as little time as I had, I think I did as well as I could have.
I agree. I believe it helped. Just adds a bit of humanity to the characters by just having them naturally have someone to gravitate towards, you know?
Yep. Alright, and with that, I'm going to hit the stop recording button. Do we need an outro?
That's up to you if you want to do some sort of outro.
Screw the outro. I'm the leader here, and I say I hit the stop recording button and see everyone later.